Confirming it today, Barclays Bank leaving Africa after a very long history, and it's not packing up just yet. It says it will sell down that 62% stake in Barclays Africa over 2 to 3 years. Investors on the market seem to be happy with that, as well as the profits reported by Barclays Africa. It closed 2% higher. But analysts are mulling the implications for the continent and for South Africa. Now, most of Barclays Africa's returns actually come from the operations of ABSA here in South Africa. While Barclays has said the reasons for the withdrawal relate to regulations that encourage it to focus on big markets in the UK and US, the depreciation of the rand and the South African economy would have been a consideration. The growth rates recorded across Africa a few years ago also have started to decline as the world is battoning down the hatches in a very uncertain time. Well, the chief executive of Barclays Africa, Ramos, says nothing will change for banking customers. She's been convincing investors that the future of the company is bright as well.
Ramos could not emphasize enough Barclays Africa's commitment to the continent. The JSE-listed share was battered this morning following London-based Barclays PLC's announcement that it's looking to exit the African market and sell off part of its controlling stake.
I think what we have in Barclays Africa is a phenomenal opportunity to continue to grow. We've got a balance sheet of over R1 trillion worth of assets. We've got a fantastic team of 42,000 people. We've got a great footprint. We are an incredibly profitable business, and the opportunities for growth across our continent have never been better.
Ramos admitted that the continent was going through an economic downturn, but said it was cyclical and that the long-term growth story in Africa made it an attractive market to be invested in. She attributed Barclays PLC's decision to its regulatory burdens rather than to a perception that the African continent was no longer an attractive proposition. Ramos has been playing a key role in discussions with government to get South Africa on a better economic footing. She welcomed Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan's budget speech of last week, calling it courageous, and says she hopes it staves off the much-dreaded credit downgrade to junk status.
Ratings agencies don't act on emotion, they act on the delivery. And so I'm hoping that they have done enough to convince the rating agencies to buy us some time, and that as a country we're able to deliver. I think the budget also showed that the minister did listen quite carefully to the interactions he had with business, but also to the interactions, I'm sure, knowing how the Treasury works, they had with many other stakeholders. So I think, yes. I think for the country, a ratings downgrade is very serious.
Barclays Africa reported headline earnings up 10% to 14.3 billion rand for the year ended December 2015. It saw brisk earnings growth in its businesses in the rest of Africa, which now account for about 21% of its revenue. Worryingly, though, it reported a rise in credit impairments, up 10% at 6.9 billion rand, suggesting that consumers are under pressure. Nompumelelo Siziba, SABC News.